Brought to you in part by Windsor Plywood in French Creek, specializing in hard-to-source interior and exterior home finishing products, including flooring, doors and moldings, and exterior project materials such as yellow cedar. Windsor Plywood French Creek carries high-quality, responsibly sourced products and are committed to providing outstanding value and personalized, one-on-one service to all of our customers. Homeowners, do-it-yourselfers, renovators, builders, designers, craftsmen and contractors. Regardless of the type or size of your project, Windsor can help you bring your vision to life from start to finish. Let Windsor Plywood in French Creek help you with your renovation, new build, or building project. Visit them online or call 752-3122.
Peter and his dog Gracie ran through fields so wide, with dreams in their pockets and stars as their guide. Every day's an adventure under the open sky. In their world of stories, time just flies by.
Peter and Gracie, the soccer practice pal. Peter stood at his bedroom window, watching the morning sunlight dance across the dewy grass in his backyard. The early spring air was crisp and clean, carrying the sweet scent of blooming cherry blossoms from their neighbor's tree. His American Eskimo dog, Gracie, sat beside him, her fluffy white tail swishing back and forth across the carpet like a feather duster. Her pure white coat gleamed in the morning light, making her look like she was glowing. Today wasn't just any ordinary Saturday. It was Peter's first day of soccer practice with his new team, the Riverside Rapids, and both Peter and Gracie could barely contain their excitement. "Are you ready to be our team mascot, Gracie?" Peter asked, scratching behind her pointed ears. The fur there was especially soft, like cotton candy clouds on a summer day. Gracie responded with an excited bark, her coal black eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. She always seemed to understand exactly what Peter was saying, as if she was more than just a dog. She was his best friend. Ever since his parents had brought her home as a tiny puppy 3 years ago, she had been by his side through everything. The first day of school jitters, learning to ride a bike, and now his newest adventure into the world of soccer. Peter remembered the day Gracie had first come home, a tiny ball of white fluff that could fit in his father's hands. She'd been shy at first, hiding behind the living room curtains and peeking out with curious black eyes. But by bedtime that very first night, she had claimed her special spot in the corner of Peter's room, and their bond had been unshakable ever since. Peter's mother called from downstairs, her voice carrying the warm aroma of breakfast with it. "Breakfast is ready. Don't forget we need to leave for practice in 45 minutes. The wooden stairs creaked under Peter's feet as he made his way down with Gracie following close behind, her nails making a gentle clicking sound on each step. The sweet aroma of blueberry pancakes filled the air. His soccer gear was already laid out on the kitchen counter, his new cleats still clean in their box, and a bright blue uniform with the number 7 emblazoned on the back in bold white letters. "Someone looks excited," his father remarked from behind his morning newspaper, smiling as Peter practically bounced into his chair. Gracie settled into her usual spot beneath the table where she could catch any stray bits of breakfast that might fall her way. Her white fur stood out against the dark hardwood floor like fresh snow on bare branches. "I can't wait to meet everyone on the team," Peter said, between bites of pancake, maple syrup dripping from his fork. "Coach Thompson said we could bring Gracie as our mascot. He said she'd be perfect because her white fur matches our team colors. Plus, she's the friendliest dog in the whole neighborhood." His mother placed another perfectly golden pancake on his plate. "Just remember, honey, Gracie will need to be on her best behavior. Not all children are used to dogs, and some might be nervous. Remember how your cousin Emma was at first?" Peter nodded solemnly, cutting into his pancake. He knew that Gracie would make him proud. She always did. She was the most gentle dog he had ever known, with a special way of making everyone feel comfortable around her. Just last week, she had helped his little cousin Emma overcome her fear of dogs by slowly approaching her and offering her a paw to shake. By the end of the visit, Emma had been giggling as Gracie performed her tricks. Sitting pretty, playing dead, and her specialty, giving high fives with her soft white paw. After breakfast, Peter changed into his uniform while his father attached Gracie's special blue and white bandana, made to match the team colors. She sat perfectly during the process, as if she knew this was an important ceremony. The bandana had been a surprise gift from Peter's mother, who had spent several evenings sewing it while watching television. She had even embroidered Gracie's name in white thread along one edge, making it official team gear. The drive to the soccer field was filled with excitement. Peter watched through the window as neighborhoods gave way to sprawling green expanse of Riverside Park. The morning sun had burned away the last of the fog, revealing 4 pristine soccer fields. The grass looked like a perfect green carpet, freshly mowed and marked with crisp white lines. The goalposts gleamed in the morning light, their nets swaying gently in the spring breeze. As they pulled into the parking lot, Peter could see other children arriving with their parents. Some were already passing balls back and forth, their cleats kicking up dust in the morning light. The sound of laughter and excited chatter filled the air, mixing with the distant honking of geese flying overhead. Gracie's tail began wagging furiously as she spotted the activity through the car window. Her breath fogged up the glass. "Remember," Peter's father said as they gathered their equipment from the trunk, "this is about everybody having fun and making new friends. Don't worry too much about being perfect right away. Everyone starts somewhere. And Coach Thompson told me he's great with beginners." Peter nodded, but his stomach was doing little flips as he saw how skilled some of the other kids were. One boy was juggling a soccer ball, keeping it in the air for what seemed like forever, his feet moving in a blur of motion. 2 girls were practicing fancy footwork that made Peter's head spin just watching, their perfectly coordinated movements looking like a dance routine. As they approached the field, Gracie walking proudly beside them with her bandana fluttering in the breeze, Coach Thompson spotted them and waved them over. He was a tall man with friendly eyes and a whistle hanging around his neck, wearing the team's colors and carrying a mesh bag full of soccer balls over his shoulder. "Peter, glad you could make it," Coach Thompson called out, his voice warm and welcoming. Then he knelt down to Gracie's level, showing no hesitation around the fluffy white dog. "And this must be our new mascot. What a beautiful dog. I've never seen an American Eskimo up close before." Gracie sat perfectly, offering her paw to shake just as she'd been taught. Several of Peter's new teammates gathered around, drawn by the sight of the fluffy white dog with the team bandana. Their faces lit up with curiosity and delight as they watched Gracie's gentle interaction with the coach. "What kind of dog is she?" asked a girl with braided hair and bright blue cleats that matched her uniform. Her name tag read Isabella, and she had a kind smile. "She's an American Eskimo dog," Peter said, feeling more confident now that he was talking about his beloved pet. He'd studied up on Gracie's breed when they first got her, and he was always happy to share what he knew. "Her name is Gracie. They were originally bred as circus dogs because they're so smart and good at learning tricks. Would you like to see her shake hands?" "She looks like a small polar bear," exclaimed another boy named Marcus, causing everyone to laugh. Marcus had been the one juggling the ball earlier, but now he seemed more interested in Gracie than showing off his soccer skills. Coach Thompson gathered the team together for their first practice, with Gracie settling herself on a blanket that Peter's mother had brought. The blanket was positioned perfectly under a shady tree where she could watch everything without getting too hot in her thick fur. As the team began their warm-up exercises, Peter noticed how Gracie's head followed their movements, as if she was studying their techniques. Her alert ears picked up every time Coach Thompson blew his whistle. The practice started with basic skills. Peter was nervous at first, his feet feeling clumsy as he tried to control the ball, but he found that focusing on keeping the ball close to his feet helped him forget about his anxiety. Whenever he looked over at Gracie, she would wag her tail encouragingly, as if to say, "You've got this." Her constant presence made him feel braver, just as she had done when he first learned to ride his bike without training wheels. During their water break, some of the team members gathered around Gracie again. She seemed to know exactly how to behave with each child, gentle with the nervous ones, playful with the bold ones. And when shy Sarah approached hesitantly, Gracie lay down and rolled over slightly on her side, making herself look as non-threatening as possible. Within minutes, Sarah was carefully petting Gracie's soft fur. A small smile replaced her earlier worried expression. "Your dog is so cool," said Marcus. The boy had been juggling the ball earlier as he took a long drink from his water bottle. "I wish I could bring my pet to practice, but my turtle isn't exactly mascot material. Though I guess he could be our goalie. He's pretty good at not moving." Peter laughed, and just like that, he had made a new friend on the team. They spent the rest of the break trading stories about their pets, with other teammates joining in to share tales of their own furry, feathered, and scaly friends. The practice continued with passing drills, and Peter started to feel more comfortable with each touch of the ball. Coach Thompson was patient and encouraging, showing them how to use the inside of their foot for better control. "Think of your foot like a cushion," he explained. "You want to receive the ball softly, like you're giving it a gentle hug with your foot." Even when Peter's passes went the wrong way, rolling far off target, the coach would call out helpful tips instead of criticisms. "That's it, Peter. You're getting the idea. Remember to point your toes where you want the ball to go. Every great player started exactly where you are now." As the practice drew to a close, Coach Thompson gathered everyone together for a team meeting. Gracie trotted over and sat next to Peter, her white fur gleaming in the late morning sun. A few pieces of grass had stuck to her paws, but she still looked pretty regal in her team bandana. "Great first practice, everyone," the coach said, looking around at all the tired but happy faces. "I want you to all know that soccer is more about than just winning games. It's about teamwork, supporting each other, and having fun. I think our new mascot, Gracie, showed us something important today. Sometimes the best way to help your team is simply by being there and offering encouragement. Did you notice how she watched everyone practice? How she made everyone feel welcome? These are all great qualities of a great team player." Peter felt a surge of pride as his teammates nodded in agreement. Gracie had somehow managed to become part of the team in just one practice. She had transformed from being just Peter's pet to becoming everyone's favorite soccer practice pal. As they were packing up to leave, several parents approached Peter's parents to comment on how well-behaved Gracie was and how her presence had helped some of the more nervous children feel more comfortable on their first day. The morning sun had grown warmer, and parents were handing out orange slices and water bottles to the tired players. On the drive home, Peter couldn't stop smiling. His father caught his eye in the rearview mirror. "Looks like someone had a good time." "It was the best," Peter exclaimed, his voice full of excitement despite his tired legs. "And did you see how everyone loved Gracie? She's the perfect mascot. Even Coach Thompson said so." In the back seat, Gracie was already dozing off, tired from her morning of mascot duties, but her tail still wagged slowly at the sound of her name. The blue and white bandana was slightly crooked, but she looked perfectly content, having done her job of spreading joy and encouragement throughout the practice. That evening, as Peter sat on the back porch doing his homework with Gracie lying contentedly at his feet, he reflected on how different the day might have been without her there. The setting sun painted the sky in brilliant shades of orange and pink, and a cool breeze ruffled Gracie's fur. She had helped him feel brave when he was nervous, made him proud when she behaved so well, and even helped him make new friends. "You know what, Gracie," he said, reaching down to ruffle her fur. "I think this is going to be the best soccer season ever. You're not just a good dog. You're the best soccer practice pal anyone could ask for." Gracie lifted her head and gave him one of her special doggy smiles, her black eyes twinkling as if to say she knew it all along. After all, that's what best friends and perfect mascots are for. As the sky darkened and the first stars began to appear, Peter and Gracie practiced passing the ball back and forth in the yard. Well, Peter passed the ball, and Gracie would occasionally nose it back to him, making him laugh every time. It wasn't exactly professional soccer training, but to Peter, it was perfect. That night, as Peter got ready for bed, he hung his soccer uniform carefully in the closet and placed Gracie's team bandana on his dresser, where he could see it first thing in the morning. Tomorrow would be a regular Sunday, but next Saturday couldn't come soon enough. He couldn't wait to return to practice with his new friends and his very special soccer practice pal. Gracie jumped up onto the bed in the corner of Peter's room, turning around 3 times before settling down with a contented sigh. Her white fur seemed to glow in the soft light of Peter's bedside lamp, and her peaceful breathing filled the quiet room. As Peter drifted off to sleep, he thought about how lucky he was to have a dog who was so much more than a pet. She was his confidence booster, his social ambassador, and now his soccer team's beloved mascot. In his dreams that night, Peter scored the winning goal in the championship game, and there was Gracie, running beside him with her blue and white bandana, flying in the wind, celebrating his victory just as she had celebrated every other moment of his life, with unconditional love and unwavering support. After all, that's what makes Gracie not just any soccer practice pal, but the very best soccer practice pal anyone could ask for.
Peter and Gracie, the finest of friends, with tales of wonder that never end. In the pages of books or stars up above, they find their magic in laughter and love.
Brought to you in part by Windsor Plywood in French Creek, specializing in hard-to-source interior and exterior home finishing products, including flooring, doors and moldings, and exterior project materials such as yellow cedar. Windsor Plywood French Creek carries high-quality, responsibly sourced products and are committed to providing outstanding value and personalized, one-on-one service to all of our customers, homeowners, do-it-yourselfers, renovators, builders, designers, craftsmen, and contractors. Regardless of the type or size of your project, Windsor can help you bring your vision to life from start to finish. Let Windsor Plywood in French Creek help you with your renovation, new build, or building project. Visit them online or call 752-3122